All right, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Happy Tuesday. Well, I hope that everybody is having a great Tuesday morning. It's the temperature's dropping off a little bit here. Usually it's been about 80 degrees right now. And whenever I got up this morning, it was 67. So quite a pleasant thing to happen a good thing to happen. Means fall is just around the corner. So let me start out by saying thank you again to Encompass. We appreciate you taking the time and spending the money to provide training to technicians. It's one of the things that I have always thought. If you don't have a training program, you're not gonna have everything done. Not everything done, but you're not gonna stay on top of things. Today we are going to be talking about refrigerator Icemaker repair. Okay. We're going to go through 3 brands of Icemakers. Actually, we can probably do 4. It's going to be a very, very, I'm going to go through these. If you have any questions, please stop me and let me know. And I will periodically check and go back and make sure that I don't have any questions on here, because in the mode that I'm in, I can't see your comments, but I'm able to be able to see the repair. Okay. So, the only reason that you're going to be going to an Icemaker is that the Icemaker's not working. So one of the 4 things that I always check whenever I was a technician, I verify that the Icemaker is not frozen up. A lot of the times what will happen is even in today's Icemaker, if it is, there's several different styles. Okay. LG has a gourmet cube. That gourmet cube is what I like to have in my, I hate to say this, but in my whiskey. It's a round cube about this size. Okay, it goes all the way around. Then there's a lot of the old style heat mold Icemakers, and then they don't have the new style in every home. My house in Daytona Beach, I have an Icemaker that has the mold heater in it. The other kind of Icemaker is the flex tray Icemaker. Okay. Everybody has gone to a flex tray Icemaker. I was watching a couple of YouTube videos and people were like, "Oh, we don't understand why in the world you would go to this kind of Icemaker." So let's take a second and talk about that. Okay. Every manufacturer has to have a mark down. They have to have a step down on energy consumption. One of the things that they have found is by going back in the 50s and 60s, flex tray Icemakers were prevalent in several different brands. Okay, Norge had a flex tray Icemaker. So the technology has been around since the 50s and 60s. Okay, but they have found that by using this flex tray Icemaker, they don't consume as much energy. So today is all about energy consumption. Okay, that's the reason they're going to the R600, which is now mandated for every manufacturer has to have R600 refrigerant. That's a whole different ball game. check in about 2 weeks from now, and we will. Interesting. Okay. Um, after we do that, then it will that is going to be the way that things are going. They've got to maintain a certain energy consumption. Okay. But whenever I was in the field working, okay, my ice maker, if I had my ice maker call, the first thing I did was I verified the ice maker was not frozen up. Okay. Even today, that's the first thing you need to do. Pull the bin out, look, see if there's in the flex tray, Samsung, which is the first one we're going to go through. My father has a Samsung that has a flex tray ice maker in it. He's not real happy with it. Most of the people that I have talked to that own this Samsung refrigerator, they're not real happy with it. It has some inherent problems with it. Many of the things you have to do is put it into a forced defrost. For my father, have to put it into a forced defrost like for the ice maker. Put that in about once a month. That we're finding that I have to have him do that about once a month. Okay, so I've got to verify that the ice maker is not frozen up. Some of the times, what will happen is if you have the ice maker that I have in Daytona here, that ice maker sometimes, whenever it goes through the cycle, one of the cubes will hang, and then it won't. I have to go in and I have to get that cube out before I can get it to cycle the ice maker. Okay, if it's not frozen up, I'm going to verify that that I've got water coming into the ice maker. Okay, so how am I going to do that? I'm going to reach in. I'm going to stick my finger in the hole and see if there's ice there. If there's no ice, then I know that I do not have water coming into the refrigerator. So then I have to figure out why. Okay. After I've done those checks, I'm going to cycle the ice maker. Okay. How do I cycle the ice maker? It depends on what ice maker you got. We're going to go through those as we go through the presentation here. So we want to make sure that the ice maker is cycling and I'm getting water. If I don't get water, I usually have one of a couple of things. Either I could have a bad valve. Okay. If I can get it to cycle, then the other option that I've got could be that it's frozen up in the ice maker line itself. So I'm going to have to determine all of that. Okay. So once I start to cycle the ice maker, I'm going to try to check any components, okay, that I suspect of having a failure. Okay. So things to check whenever I'm having ice maker issues. Okay. If I have no ice in the bucket, okay, the first thing I'm going to check is that the temperature has got to be at least 10 degrees. Okay. It can't, if it's at 24 degrees, this ice makers will not cycle. Okay. So it's got to be at least 10 degrees in the compartment. Okay. Some of the compartments are built into the refrigerator, but they have a freezing compartment for the ice maker. So you need to make sure that what temperature is and that it is at least 10 degrees or below. Okay. I always tell everybody that it needs to be somewhere to be optimal in ice production. It needs to be at least 0. Okay. If I have it any warmer than 0, I'm not at an optimal temperature. Whenever that happens, I am then going to have a slower ice production because it takes longer for it to cycle. Okay. The water inlet valve could be faulty. Okay. The ice maker, the ice maker assembly itself could be defective. These are all things that I'm going to have to check. Okay. The Icemaker module could be defective. I could have low pressure from the house water supply. What usually will happen if I have low pressure from the house? Okay, let's say that my pressure from the house, I'm at. I'll give you a perfect example. I was out on a call a couple of years ago. The guy had a reverse osmosis filter system. It only produced about 4 columns of water. So I had no pressure at all. So it leaked through and the valve never shut down. So at that point, I had problems with it leaking past the valve, and it got up in there, and it's what I was talking about with. I'm going to check. I'm going to check the drain trough as it comes through the refrigerator, and make sure that that's not frozen up. Now, if it is frozen, I've got to determine what the water pressure to the house is. I've got to make sure that that I've got the proper water pressure, and if I have the proper water pressure and it still have that piece leaked through to that valve, then I'm going to have to replace the valve. Okay. I could have a door switch that failed. Okay. One of the things in the refrigerator today, like with my dad's refrigerator, if I'm sitting here trying to get ice and I have somebody, he's got a 4-door refrigerator, and I have somebody that opens the door, it won't cycle. Okay. I can't even get any ice. So I want to make sure that the ice mold, okay, is not defective. That's on these that have a heater built into it. Okay. One of the other things even with a flex tray, it could be that the ice is sticking in the flex tray. If that's the case, and I'm going to have a buildup of ice, I'm going to have to probably replace the flex tray itself. Okay. The Icemaker switch could be defective, and the water filter could be clogged. If somebody doesn't replace their water filter religiously, you're going to have a problem. I can guarantee you. I'll give you a perfect example. I bought a refrigerator for my ex-girlfriend because hers just quit. So at the time I was working for Electrolux, and I ordered it with my employee discount, and I had it put in her house. She didn't change the water filter. It was about 9 months to a year since the water filter had been changed, and she had a problem. And then she called me and said, "Hey, I need you to come look at it." And I said, "When's the last time you changed the water filter?" She told me, "I don't know." So I said, "Okay, you need to go and change the water filter." Whenever she changed the water filter, it started working amazingly. So the water filter has got to change it. Okay. Icemaker in bucket, it could be frozen or it could be overflowing. So what will happen is if the Icemaker switch that shuts the Icemaker off, saying, "Hey, I've got enough ice in my bucket." If that switch goes faulty, you could have a problem. And if that, you've got to check that switch and make sure that it is operating properly. Once again, we could have water pressure from the home supply could be low. It'll actually drip all the time, and then you get a big clump. You end up with a huge clump of ice instead of cubes in the bucket. Okay. Icemaker assembly, the whole assembly. If I have to, in today's assembly, if I have to replace the Icemaker, it's about $120 for the Icemaker itself. So if I want to check and make sure that the assembly's good. If it's not, I'm going to have to replace it. Okay. So we're gonna go, and I'm gonna exit full screen. Does anybody have any questions right now? If you do, please type them into the comments section on the right hand side of the screen, and let me know. I'm going to give you just a minute to do that. While I'm waiting on that, my phone number and email and Reggie's information, Reggie Williams's information, are scrolling across the bottom of the screen here. If something happens and you need to reach me, it's better to text me at my phone number, or send me an email. One of the two. Especially right now, there's a whole lot of scams things going on, and so my phone has a phone blocker in it. So if it doesn't recognize your number, it reverts you over to an automatic mailbox, so that I don't have to have a lot of these spam calls. So just text me and I'll get back with you as quickly as possible. Okay, I do not see anybody that has gone and had any questions. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to um, and I will see you on Thursday. Have a great day. If something happens and you want to know about the Encompass Easy Stock app, hang around for a couple of minutes and we will talk about the Easy Stock app. Okay, the Easy Stock app. All right. Um, like I have said, if you've ever had a class with me, I love the Easy Stock app. All right. It helped me if I was a technician. I have it so that I can keep track of all of my parts. It really is a great app. If something happens and you want the Easy Stock app, you want to know a whole lot more about it, you can go right here to this YouTube video and it will show you all about the Easy Stock app. Okay. I hope that everybody has a great day. I will see you next time. Have a great day.